Hey everyone, it's Jen Zoe here, and it is Wednesday afternoon, but about not quite 5 o'clock, and I'm out. It's a gorgeous day here in Florida, and I want to talk a little bit about patience. I actually, and my readers here, and my sunglasses, so I can see what so. But I want to talk a little bit about that because I'm hanging out with Miss Tuesday, who is like so all up in my business and wants to be loved on, and also with Peaches, who wants like and it's not even once. It's like she can't. I think she does want it. I think she does want to come over and feel okay being loved on and, just like Tuesday, like she comes over and I scratch on her. Come here, little nugget. And just love on her and tell her how good she is. Oh, yeah, and get a little loving back. Yeah. Oh, what a good sweet girl. Right. But Tuesday's easy. And it's almost like I don't it's like Tuesday is showing Peaches, like, "Hey, you're okay. There's nothing in the bucket to eat except my glasses." Like, I'm just watching, just sitting here and observing Peaches as she just stands there and horse, or Peaches stood in the corner and watched me the entire time. It was crazy. What happened to my thing? My God. I am gonna have to get my glasses out, you guys. This is ridiculous. I touched the screen and something happened. Didn't hear that. Try again. Don't want that. There we are. Oh my gosh. Yay! But if you are joining me for the first time, please just let me know that you're here. If you're back and have been following me for a while, welcome back. There, that's interesting. The wind kind of gave me a opened that up a little bit. And you can almost see that she's trying to put her head down. She's looking over this way. She actually had an energy healing earlier today, and that was really nice. And I'm just sitting here in a stool, like kind of doing a whole lot of nothing. And if you think about it, like, look at Tuesday. She's sitting there, she's got her leg cocked, and she does like pretty much a whole lot of nothing. And we get so caught up in actually trying to make progress that you get a diminishing rate of return, right? If you put me in front of my computer, I'm not going to be able to sit there for 4 hours unless I am like really in the zone on a creative project. But when it comes to doing like admin work and that kind of thing, I mean, I got about a 90-minute time limit, and then I got to go, move my feet a little. Same with these guys, and that's sort of how they live their day. Like, she would stand there and just be and quiet and still, but she's thinking, like, if you watch her ears, watch her body language. I hope my camera's pointing on her appropriately. And then Tuesday's been such a great supporter because she'll come over. Now, this is interesting. There, Peaches just kind of moved her feet a little and she licked and chewed, which means, "Hi, weirdo." That means that she's been thinking about something. She's being contemplative. Thanks there, photobomb. This is like the cutest photobomb though, right? Watch out, choosers. And she'll go over there. These guys are kind of frenemies, which cracks me up. So it's interesting, because Tuesday's kind of the boss or sorry, Peaches is kind of the boss of Tuesday, but it's sort of 41:59 or 49:51. I can't talk today. And it's so to just kinda watch these 2 interact has been absolutely hysterical. But you think about, there's the in my coursework, I talk about something called the 5 adaptives, and there's 5 areas that shift the way you show up in your world. And with Peaches, it's obviously in their leader, right, and in her herd. Because when it's just her and Toots, they're over here sharing and having a great time. But she actually had to had positioned herself where Peaches couldn't see me, so Peaches moved so she can keep an eye on me. Like, there's such a deep level of skepticism, and, Miguel Ruiz writes a really great book, to follow up the 4 agreements called The Fifth Agreement. Him and his son collaborated, and it's, "Be skeptical, but listen." So with this little nugget, there's not a lot of "but listen." Like, she's like, "Mm-mm, hey, arms crossed," big scowl on her face. But hers is not coming from anger. Hers is coming from fear. But isn't anger just a representation of fear anyway? And so this one is really testing my patience. I'm having a patience for the peaches, and they'll be worth it when they're nice and ripe and juicy. And there's actually been a couple of times where I um tapped into my quote unquote traditional natural horsemanship training, and which uses a lot of negative reinforcement and positive punishment. Like, if you don't move, I'm going to whack you with the stick. And like, there's some energy behind it that I disagree with after spending 20 years learning about it. But it's elevated, and it's this little nugget here, this peaches, that has said, you know what, that tactic won't work. And whatever tactics were used with her in the past may have worked, but they scared the ever living pudding out of her. So, and see, all I had to do, I just moved my camera over a little, and she's like, "Oh, what's she doing?" Like, how much does it take to actually really get a stimulus response from her? Now, I wonder what would happen if I moved over and I see, it's all it takes is just that little bit of something to shift things. And Tuesday moving away, now Peaches is like, maybe there's a teeny bit of curiosity there. And so what do you do? And if you guys are in sales, like, it's these guys that you have to really lean out for, and make sure that you're not like putting too much pressure on. And like, see how she's smelling poop right there? Now, normally that would mean like, oh, that's dominance, but it's her just going, I need to do something to self-soothe and kind of pull myself out of my introversion. So, and there's a lick and chew as a result. So she's licked and chewed several times. But you guys, where does this show up in your life? How many times have you lost patience with somebody because the peach wasn't ripe? Because the peaches weren't ready. And we tend to like push or try and cajole, or under the guise of encouragement or mentoring or guidance, when they're just simply not ready. There was a big sigh out. So again, she had a nice energy healing today. She's nice and soft, and very relaxed underneath there, and she's about 12 feet away from me. And that's okay. I'm going to kind of let her emerge from her shell on her own when I don't have to, like, that she needs to get her feet trimmed at some point. Not today, they're fine, but at some point she will. And if it gets too bad, it turns into a have to situation. And I don't want to have a have to situation with this little one. So yeah, she's like, "Uh-oh, I need to move. Maybe Tuesday's going over for a drink." But she moved her feet, but she's not taking her eyes off of me. So if you're gonna have the patience for the peaches, trust me, they're worth it. I'm from close to Campbell, Missouri, one of the most famous places in the country for beautiful peaches. And this little one has pushed me to step up at a higher level and be there for her and with her on her terms, and not pull her out of her shell sooner than she's ready. And there's actually a really good, I don't know if you knew this, most people don't, but there's a truth about hermit crabs. You cannot forcibly remove them from their shells without like literally ripping them apart, like physically, literally ripping them apart. They would rather have their claw ripped off than be forcibly removed from their home, because that generally means, death. Right. And the same thing for this little one. The only reason she's acting like this is because she feels the need to protect herself and trust her instincts and Mother Nature than, the two-eyed, five-fingered purple people eater, right? She doesn't know enough good things about humans just yet to be able to relax into that space. Have you ever heard the phrase, I trust you as far as I could throw a piano, right? Well, that's how she feels right now, and she can throw a piano pretty far, probably further than I've seen a lot of horses in a very long time. But even just now, she's just far enough away from me. She can be relaxed, more relaxed, and stay in a more centered space. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm in no hurry. I have no agenda. It's not like we're going to the Olympics next week or anything. And in fact, I would rather go to the relationship Olympics than the actual Olympics, because this is where the juice is at. And what I've learned from horses about patience, man, I never seen it take more than 2 days, as one of my mentors would always say. It's like, for an improvement. So just even her being relaxed in here and not worried what I'm about to do. And there she just lifted her tail and passed a little gas. And like, that to me tells me that I'm on the right track. And having the patience to actually, not keep checking the oven. What do they say? You know, a watched pot never boils. Well, a watched horse never peaches. I guess I just use a fruit as a verb, but you get the idea. And I hope this is powerful for you guys. I hope that when you watch this, I'm going to be doing a lot more live videos, a lot more teaching. It's like about these types of topics, between corporate team building, leadership workshops, private coaching, and my mastermind. Like, there's a lot of great opportunities to get involved with, what I'm teaching, theta healing, empowerment through horses, and understanding self and others through the spirit of these great animals, big and small. And this little peach sure does pack a punch, as far as like as much moxie and high. She's very high spirited. She's a high spirited introvert. Yeah, that's an interesting one. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you're following and subscribing to my YouTube channel. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. Woohoo! And stay tuned. There's more to come. And remember to believe in yourself. It will change your life. And it's because of the horse that I have patience. See you next time. See if I can figure out how to